Vastberaden troopers, it's the 13th of May and it's time for another fantastic home workout. So you're lucky we're gonna attack your lower body today with some nice Tabatas. The workout for every level is going to be a Tabata style workout with 4 different movements and 4 consecutive Tabata. So a Tabata is 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest for 8 rounds continuing. So after that, you're going to start another movement. The first movement will be the air squats. The second, sit-ups. The third, lunges. And the fourth, Russian twist. So we'll get there when we'll get there, but first we need to get warmed up. The first movement for the warm-up will be a squat to pike. It looks like this. You're going to stand at hip width, toes slightly pointed out. You're going to squat down, grab your big toes, and come up with your hips while still grabbing on those toes and trying to stretch your legs as much as possible while keeping your back slightly rounded, but trying to be as straight in the back as you can. You're going to repeat that for 5 times. After that, you're going to do 5 V-ups. So you're going to lie down on your mat or whatever stable, steady surface you have, and you're going to perform, for me, one of the hardest sit-ups movement there is. So from this position, you're going to come up and touch your toes, hopefully a little bit more synchronized than me. If this is really hard for you, you can also do a shotgun version. So from this position with stretched out arms, stretched out legs, you can come up, shoulders off the floor, tap your heels, and go back for 5 times. After that, 10 bottom hops. So high plank position, it's like the burpee without standing up. You're going to hop to your hands with flat feet on the ground and immediately go back. So with a high pace. Make sure you stretch out those legs every time you go back. Do that for 10 repetitions. After that, 10 frog humps. So, you're going to have your foot soles together like in a diamond sit-up. And from this position, lay down on your shoulders. Make sure you have the shoulders planted in the ground, your hands on the floor. You're going to perform a hip bridge while keeping the foot soles touching each other. You're going to feel a little bit more stretch and burn on the inner thigh. Do that for 10 repetitions as well. Repeat this for 6 minutes. Make sure that you are maintaining a relatively high pace. Your heart rate slightly goes up and you're feeling warmer. All right, after this, the second part of the warm-up. You're going to do star planks. So for the star plank, you're going to be on one arm, or if it's a little bit too hard, on an elbow. This is to warm up stability in the shoulder, stability in the core, and stability in the hip. From this position, make sure that you are a straight plank. That's why it's called a star plank. And you're going to get that other arm up and that other leg up as well. Set a timer for 30 seconds. You're going to hold it here. If that's a little bit too hard, go down to the elbow, exact same movement. Arm up, leg up. If that's really hard as well, put down your leg. If that's too hard as well, put down your arm. So 30 seconds on both sides for 2 rounds. After this, you are all warmed up. So for the Tabata, you can put on a regular timer if you want to hear the beeps because you will lose track of time like I will. You can download a really nice timer. It's a free app called Watt Timer. And you just put on an Imam style workout. So 8 rounds, 20 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. We're going to start off with the air squat. You all know the air squat, but I'm still going to explain because it's one of the most fundamental movements and it's always nice to check if you're moving in the right direction. So for the air squat, you're going to stand tall, feet are hip width apart. From this position, you're going to push your hip out. I always like to stretch out my arms in front or even a little bit to the sky. You're going to push your hips back while maintaining a straight back, and I'm slightly pushing my knees out. My hip crease is below parallel, and from the full pressure of my foot, so I'm not too much in the heels, I'm not on the toes as well. From this position I can push up and push my hip fully extend to the top position. So make sure that in that air squat, when you're down, that your knee and your toes are pointing in the same direction. That you maintain fully stretched out with those arms, keeping a really nice big chest and tight core. From this position, you're going to perform as many as you can in those 20 seconds. 10 seconds of rest, and you're going to continue that for 8 rounds. So make sure that you're not burning up in the first round, but keep that high pace, trying to get the same number of air squats every round. After this, no rest, you're immediately going to the sit-ups. Tabata style again, foot soles together. If you have an ab mat, use it, or else just make sure you have a nice mat. From this position, you're going to touch the floor behind the shoulders. Use those arms to thrust yourself up and touch the floor in front of your foot, in front of your feet. You're going to do that 20 seconds, as much as you can, and make sure that every other round you're going to hit around the same number. So don't slack off in the 6th or 7th round. It's going to burn the abs really nice. All right, immediately into the third Tabata. Lunges. Hip width again. Make sure that when you lunge, that you go down with your knee not tracking in front of your toe. So if this is happening, you probably have a little bit too small of a step, and you need to step out a little bit bigger. So big step, gently touch the floor with the knee that's going down, and go back again. Make sure that both feet are feeling the pressure on the floor, and you're not core dancing, so your feet are not stepping in a line, but they're standing hip width apart even when you're stepping in front of you. All right. After the Tabata lunges, it's the final one, and you can use a little bit of weight for this one. So if you have a heavy bottle of water, a really heavy book, maybe you have a small kettlebell, dumbbell, something like that, you can use this. So I'm gonna have my weight vest for this one. We're going to perform Russian twists, and for the Russian twists, you want to get your feet off the floor, really follow the weight around, and gently touch the floor on the ground. Don't drop it and bounce it with your arms, but make sure that your midline is actually following the weight around, doing the exact same amount of reps every round, or at least trying to. So after this, you've done 4 Tabatas. You're pretty tired. You can evenly, I'm only explaining, I'm already breathing a little bit heavy. So now it's time to cool down. We're going to start off with a really nice stretch. It's called the Sphinx. So like the Sphinx of Egypt, you're going to lay down on your mat, put your elbows down on the floor, and you're going to gently push yourself up, stretch out the abs real nice, a little bit on the lower back as well, and just look in front. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can also do the arms, but make sure that your hip stays in contact with the ground, and you're going to stay there for 2 minutes. After that, a lizard stretch on both sides. So let's start off with the right one. You're going to put one foot in front, your hands are touching the floor next to your foot, the other foot goes straight to the back, and from this position you can feel a really nice stretch in the inner thigh and the back leg. If you want a little bit more stretch, go down to the floor, whatever suits you. Go do that for 2 minutes on each side, and then you've all done a very good job. I hope to see you in the next workout, or even better, I hope to see you in one of the classes this or next week. All right, stay safe everybody, bye-bye.